All right, I need to not, my border goes through right here. So all that's going to get erased because it's on my subject. I'm wanting this to be in color, maybe. Definitely this one. And I don't have much of the border. So you know what? I think maybe I will, let's see, that skips over. What if I traced it here, and I'm going to skip over that leaf. And then I can always come back, I guess, and add more if I wanted to. For now, I'm going to skip over. See how I skipped over? So this is all going to be in color, and that's going to be in color. I think that's going to look really cool having that like color come out. It'll kind of balance out this big spot over here, but then I still have my border left. And then this guy, I'm just going to cut him right through. So let's see, that vine is part of it. I'm going to take this one, and this is going to be all the way through. And I don't think I'm going to have anything in the bottom come out because I already put that line there. I'm going to cross this over, and I'm going to go, maybe that guy can be in color. This one here might be kind of nice in color coming down. You guys can't see that. So I have this, and then I skipped over. This was going to be in color, and then I can see the corner of my border, and then I skipped over, and now I have, there's my side of my border, and then I went right through part of my drawing. You don't have to make yours very thick right now. I'm doing that just so you can see it. So I went right through that. I skipped over that leaf, and I'm going right through my branch down here at the bottom. And I'm skipping over his toes. There's probably a bit of a border showing here. And then I skipped over this leaf too because I thought maybe having a leaf come over in color would be really cool as well. There, do you guys see the square now? You can always go back and adjust it if you feel like later, you know what, I'm gonna stop my color there. You can always go back and adjust it. And you're gonna let that dry really good here. I don't want you to erase just yet. I'm gonna erase mine because I think maybe you guys can see it that way. But I want you to let that pen dry really good. You guys are gonna practice your pen or your watercolor first. Once you get that on there, then you guys are going to erase here. And now with that border gone, you should be able to see my rectangle. To be honest, I think it'd be kind of cool to see a little bit of the rectangle pop up over here, but I drew my subject over too far, so I don't really have another little square right here. I think it'd be cool if I did. And honestly, I don't know, would it be that terrible of a thing to draw it over there? It'd be really close to the edge though, so that might not be smart. But that also is a solution, to pop another little spot over there even though it's not measured. You know what your main subject is going to be color-wise, you know what your background is going to be. So whatever colors you choose for your little test strip, I want them to be the colors that you think you might use for the final. That way, while you're practicing and you could say, oh, I don't really like this color, then you don't use it for the final. All right. Let me get some paper towel. So, how do we start? So, a wash is like when you cover it. And we're actually going to work on the background color first. So, if I'm going to do this, let's say I do a wash in my background and just color it all green. So that's exactly what I would do here, is that I don't have a lot of details drawn in between here. So I would literally just wash this background all green with a light green, okay? Because it's obviously in the jungle and green would be good for a background, and I've got green leaves over the top. So I would use one of the bigger brushes, or if you've got some smaller areas, you got a couple options. You've got round brushes and flat brushes. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever's easier for you. When you get your color, you are going to take your cup and actually put water in it like this. No pouring it in, just doing a little bit here. The other cool thing is that you can use these. If you wash these out, you can actually use these to mix new colors. If you want to make it lighter, darker, more of a brown green or a yellow green, you guys can mix them right here into your palettes. Okay. I'm gonna do a really bad job so that you can see what not to do. So the bad job for a wash, you do want a puddle. Now, I'm going to kind of stir it up and get some water and some paint into my bristles here. Okay, it is so full of paint and so full of water that when I put this on, it's going to run everywhere. And then I pick it up. Do you see how much water is on there? It's just going to run everywhere. That is not good. It's also not really light because I have a lot of pigment in it. So how do you avoid that? Well, once I get water in here, I actually, the right thing to do would be to get water in here. I kind of like take the side of my brush and kind of squeeze some of that water out. I actually end up taking a paper towel and drying that out. Okay, now there's a bunch of water in here. Now I can actually kind of tap my brush, and now I can actually control it. There's still a lot of water. So I'm just going to tap it to my paper towel and control it to roll it across. So do you see the difference? Much more control to be able to move and paint into tinier areas. It's about the amount of water that's in your brush to be able to control it, okay? This is a good wash. This is going to dry, and I'm going to be able to go back over it. That is a really good wash. So, if I were you, I would take that wash and I would paint that wash in between, all down here. I would actually go right over my leaves because my leaves are going to be a darker green anyways. I might as well just paint right over that, okay? And then I'm not going to paint this because this is going to be like a brown. So I'm going to take all the same basic colors and just wash that light green over the whole thing. Let that dry, and then we can go back with like a darker green and paint the details. Okay, so background is going to be done first. I have a little bit of green over here as well. So background is going to be done first. Then you guys can move to your subject. Okay, how do you transition then with a color? How do you paint more details? Well, you could probably, what if I wanted to be like having like a more of a yellow green? So now I'm not going to put so much water in here. I literally just tapped my brush just a little bit and just kind of rolled a little bit of paint in here. And now I can actually control it. I can draw little lines. Could even write my name. And it's super light. So let's see if we can get some more pigment in there, but still keep it transparent. You guys can kind of see how I roll it in there. Now I can control my lines. See that? I can actually draw with the paint then, which is kind of nice. Okay. All right, this is dry enough. So let's go back and I will show you how to. I'm actually going to take that dark green and put some down here. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to take this dark green and I'm going to take this blue and make like a blue-green. Then I'm going to test it. Well, that looks really good. Okay, now watch. Now that this is dry, fairly dry, I can actually really control details over. I see that? I can actually really control the details on top. The other thing you can do too is you can transition by painting and then adding a little more water to it, and it will fade from light to dark just by adding some water. Okay, and then you could also get it to transition with other colors as well. Like if you wanted what we call glazing, you could actually add like some yellow over the top, and it'll kind of show the turquoise color underneath, and it'll kind of transition that way. Okay, so for your test strip, you are going to use the colors that you want for your background, and you can also test out the colors you want for your subject. I want you to try first to do a wash that you're controlling. And as the wash is drying, I want you to try to maybe even write your name or do little tiny details that you're controlling them. And then come back and try to paint over the top of your wash. Okay. And then I want you to try to even come up with like a transition of some sort.